First tonight on News 3, water tests in a small Dane County town find potentially dangerous levels of a cancer-causing chemical.
Plus, a look at the current voting laws ahead of the upcoming primary elections just over 2 weeks away now.
I know research is our best hope. That was one of Heather's favorite lines, but hope doesn't get us the research.
An Oregon woman is jumping into the water headfirst to raise money and awareness for a fatal and lonely disease.
This is News 3 at 10.
Thanks for joining us tonight. The Army is ramping up well tests along the Wisconsin River after recent results show increased contamination.
This is in Merrimack, around where the Badger Army ammunition plant once stood. New tonight at 10, Amy Reed explains what the testing showed. Amy?
The Army tests the water in this area anyway, but they've decided to start testing twice as much after recent tests showed higher levels of a chemical used to make explosives. This neighborhood alongside the Wisconsin River sits right outside the boundaries for the former Badger Army ammunition plant. The people tell me the Army tests their wells a few times a year to make sure leftover chemicals from the plant aren't in their drinking water at too high of levels. This spring, a test showed elevated levels of the chemical dinitrotoluene. That chemical, also called DNT, is combustible and could cause cancer. Until it's resolved, the Army is giving those well owners bottled water. The nonprofit Citizens for Safe Water Around Badger said this isn't worth worrying about yet, but they're watching the testing closely. They have maps tracking the contamination blooms in the area. This well at the bottom of the central bloom is the one the Army is keeping a close eye on now, but the nonprofit said testing will soon cover more wells more frequently. After that data is collected, the nonprofit said they'll have a better idea of how these blooms are progressing. Other residents along the street said they haven't had problems. They get their wells tested frequently, but it hasn't bothered them. They told me they just want to see this issue resolved. Another apparent concern is the contamination making its way into the river, but the executive director of Citizens for Safe Water Around Badger said the river would be able to dilute the pollutants to safe levels.
Amy Reed reporting tonight. Amy, thank you.
The relief effort in Sun Prairie continues to grow nearly 3 weeks now after the explosion. Today, the city says the disaster relief fund at the Bank of Sun Prairie has topped $300,000 and will continue taking donations through the end of the year. Today, they tell us they have a plan with the help of the city to disperse these funds in areas of the greatest need. This afternoon, some of that money was used to buy household goods for the dozens of families impacted by the explosion. A truckload of goods were dropped off at Sunshine Place, where they will be distributed.
And Captain Corey Barr with the fire department died in that explosion, and to help his family, Monk's Bar and Grill in Sun Prairie donating 100% of all sales today to the Barr family. They'll be open for about another hour, closing at 11 p.m. Unity Point Health once again notifying its patients of another security breach. This is the second time the company has sent out a notification like this in just the last 4 months. This time around, they say the personal information of more than 1 million people may have been compromised as a result of an email phishing incident. They say information that may have been compromised includes names, addresses, medical records, insurance information, and in some cases, social security numbers. The company says it sent letters to the affected patients today.
To weather now, a few showers today, but it's calm right now with temperatures dropping down into the 50s tonight. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canaldi, who has our first alert forecast. Hi, Gary.
Hi, Charlotte. Pretty quiet out there now after seeing some showers and thunderstorms, few of which produced some heavy downpours earlier today. But you can see on Weather Track just how quickly those showers and storms fizzled out once we got close to sunset and beyond. In fact, Doppler Track right now shows southern Wisconsin pretty much free of precipitation. Low temperatures this morning started out in the middle 50s, so we're getting off to a little more comfortable starts for the day. High temperatures were in the lower to middle 80s before the showers and storms popped up, and then temperatures dropped by about 10 to 15 degrees in areas that received some rain. Here in Madison, we're down to 61 degrees, while across is still at 70. They haven't had rain today, and they were at 89 for a high earlier. Milwaukee is at 68. Many locations still well into the 60s. Dew point temperatures are in the upper 50s to around 60, so it could be some patchy areas of fog. Right now, 5-mile visibility here in Madison, but elsewhere, most of the major reporting stations seeing visibilities at or above 10 miles. But tomorrow morning, we'll be down to about 58 degrees. Look for a shower or thunderstorm chance at some point during the afternoon tomorrow. High temperature, warm at 81 degrees. That's your first alert forecast.
Gary, thank you. Officials in California have just ordered more evacuations for people living near the Mendocino National Forest. It's where 2 of 17 major wildfires are burning tonight. The largest is in the city of Redding, where flames have torched nearly 100,000 acres and 6 people have died. Officials say that fire there is so big, it's created its own weather pattern, a fire vortex that has consumed more than 700 homes. So far, at least 40,000 residents have evacuated Redding.
Locally, investigators are looking for the cause of a fire early this morning at a business in the village of Friendship. That fire destroyed the Friendship Bar and Bowl, first reported just after 1 a.m. The district chief says firefighters had to pull the walls down to get better access to the source of the fire, taking about 8 hours to put it out. No one was injured. The Middleton murder trial, a man is accused of killing an elderly woman inside her home along University Avenue. That trial will begin tomorrow. 53-year-old John Heyman charged with first-degree intentional homicide in the death of 82-year-old Agnes Bram. Investigators say he was renting a room from her at the time of the homicide. She was found dead in her garage at her home on University Avenue in April of last year.
Paul Manafort will also begin trial tomorrow. He's accused of bank and tax fraud by federal investigators linked to the Russian meddling investigation in the 2016 presidential election. Manafort, who has pleaded not guilty, faces 18 counts and could face decades in prison. The CBS Board of Directors is picking outside counsel to conduct an investigation. It comes after company CEO Les Moonves was accused of sexual misconduct. The meeting was called after a bombshell report in the New Yorker on Friday detailing allegations against the CEO. 6 women told the magazine that Moonves sexually harassed them.
A wrongful death lawsuit has been filed following the deadly duck boat accident near Branson, Missouri earlier this month. The lawsuit filed yesterday against the operators of the duck boat, seeking $100 million in damages for the 2 surviving members of the Coleman family, who lost 9 family members. In total, 17 people died. No word tonight if anyone was hurt when a car crashed into a West Side apartment complex just off Midvale Boulevard at Midvale Heights apartment complex. Our crew on the scene says there was some damage to the side of the building near the parking lot. No word tonight on how it happened or if anyone was hurt. In northern Wisconsin, a total of 114 grave sites were vandalized at a cemetery in Merrill over the weekend. Today, people worked together to fix the thousands of dollars in damage. The Merrill police chief said there are no leads at this time, and they have yet to receive any tips that may lead to an arrest.
Madison residents can now vote absentee in person at local libraries. The polling place is open today at 9 libraries and will stay open until August 11th, just 3 days before primary election day. From next Monday, the 6th, to Thursday, the 9th, UW students will also be able to vote on campus at Union South, the Memorial Union, and the Student Activity Center. If you haven't early voted yet, there are some things you need to know before you head to the polls.
Especially when it comes to voter ID. Keely Arthur takes a closer look at the latest rules. Keely?
With high-profile races like the race for governor and Senate on the ballot, there's plenty of reasons to get out and vote in the August 14th partisan primary, and just a few things to know before doing so.
I think it's important. It's our state, it's our country, it's our government.
When it comes to elections, Lori Cagle has 2 rules: vote early and often.
Every election, primary and regular.
She put that into practice Monday, casting her ballot this afternoon at the Sequoia Commons Library in Madison.
The people are super nice. They walk you through it. It was the first time I'd used the electronic system, so that was super easy. You just touch it, it runs through, you put it in the envelope. Couldn't be easier.
Through the years, the rules for Cagle and everyone else have changed. Right now, though, you really need 2 things to vote: to be registered and an ID.
For almost everybody, that will be a Wisconsin driver's license.
If you don't have a Wisconsin driver's license, a passport, veteran's ID, or even a student ID card with enrollment verification will work too. If you don't have any of those, head over to the Department of Motor Vehicles to get a state-issued ID card.
And they'll give that to you for free if you need it for the purpose of voting.
Even if you don't have all the documents, you don't have your birth certificate, you don't have your social security card, what you do is you bring in what you have, and then it's on the DMV and the Department of Transportation to go and get those records.
And remember, in the Badger State, you can register to vote in person on the same day. So there's still plenty of time to get out and vote.
We don't, who does?
Also important to note, the address on the ID you use doesn't have to be your current address, but the documents you use to register to vote, of course, need to have your current and proper address.
There's some interesting and important information 2 weeks from tomorrow. Keely, thank you. Wisconsin's 5-day sales tax holiday about to begin. Shoppers won't have to pay sales taxes on clothing, computers, school supplies. Wednesday through Sunday this week, it's expected to cost the state nearly $15 million in lost revenue. There are strings attached and price limitations as well. The governor signed a bill in April that created the one-time sales tax holiday. Democrats are calling it an election year gimmick. Still to come tonight at 10 after a few showers today. Gary will rejoin us with a complete forecast for the rest of the week.
But first, a woman battling a deadly disease is doing something good, one stroke at a time.
Welcome back. People dealing with a terminal disease say it can be like walking a fine line, a tightrope of hope and reality.
Instead of wallowing in grief or in why me, Mary Goose is almost embracing it. She found a new purpose in the life she has left. Her focus is to do something good for others like her, and she's diving in head first.
It's serene, it's calm, it's simply beautiful. It's one thing to look at a lake, it's another thing to swim across it. Mary Goose is swimming for her life.
And I can swim for hours.
Mary has metastatic breast cancer, stage 4. She's dying. 113 women die of METS every day.
If a plane crashed with 113 people on it every single day, we would be up in arms. Money would be thrown at the airplane industry to find out what's going on. And this is happening, and we're not getting money. So that needs to stop.
Mary and her husband, Rob, decided to do something.
How do we now change the sort of the ball game to give more options for people like Mary?
We need research monies into the right hands.
In fact, less than 7% of all research monies go into metastatic breast cancer research, even though nearly 30% of women diagnosed with early-stage breast cancer will develop METs. 30%.
It is scary. And when I have met with women who have initial breast cancer, I'm their worst nightmare.
So Mary decided to swim.
And I have swum 40 lakes, or 40 bodies of water. And we've raised a lot of money for the UW Carbone Cancer Center.
Her goal is to raise $1 million and a whole lot of awareness.
There are people like me all over the country that are raising awareness, and I've connected with all those women. You're hearing our voices more, I think, because people say, you know, we don't want to die.
To understand the impact, the concept of those women dying of METs, Mary staged a die-in.
It was a very moving tribute. You know, there's a lot of young women, especially, out there with this disease. They die very quickly.
From swimming to blog writing to meeting newly diagnosed women.
That's something that you do as a human being. You help others.
Her acts of awareness even got her all the way to the heart of Times Square. But she says it's not just about her.
I don't know if the research will keep up with me and new drugs will come out, or if what I'm doing will help my daughter or my granddaughter.
It's selfless service, one stroke, one lake at a time.
It's that fine line of between living and dying, and you know, I'm living with this cancer, but I'm also dying with it too.
Mary, thank you so much for doing something good. And Rob, thanks for doing something good and supporting Mary. If you would like to learn more about Mary, her swims, metastatic breast cancer, and how you can help, please check out her website, onewomanmanylakes.org. If you know of a person, a business, or organization doing something good, I encourage you to nominate them at channel3000.com/do-something-good.
Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joining us now as we start the week off. A few little storms out there today, but
this is a very typical pattern for late July, early August. You have just enough humidity to pop up some showers and thunderstorms late afternoon and evening, and then the sun goes down and they just kind of fall apart. And if you take a look at the Doppler radar, you can see exactly what I mean. About 3 hours ago, still some lightning across the state, and then boom, those showers and storms just fall apart, and they're almost completely gone now. So not expecting any more rain tonight. If you look at the rain just over the last 24 hours, there were some spots, southeastern Dane County, northwestern Dane County, up around Cross Plains, even around Verona, and then back into parts of Dodge County, eastern parts of Dodge County, east of Beaver Dam, and up into areas just south of Fond du Lac, and then over parts of Grant County, especially out toward the Mississippi River. Some of those areas picked up an inch or two of rain, and you see many places in between little or no rain. And temperatures are going to stay warm from here on out. We'll be in the lower 80s for the next few days, but then as we head toward the weekend, those temperatures go up a notch into the mid to upper 80s, and it looks like they might stay there for a while. 8 to 14-day temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center calling for about a 55% chance of above normal temperatures here and through much of the country. Below normal precipitation expected from Wisconsin westward, the highest probabilities through the plains as the weather pattern becomes a little more summer-like again with the warmer temperatures, but less in the way of thunderstorm chances as the jet stream pushes to the north. High temperature today, 82 degrees, low temperature 55. When the storms came through, the temperature in Madison dropped almost 15 degrees. We're at 61 now, humidity up to 97%. There could be some patchy fog out there. The dew point temperature at 60, but I think the air will dry out enough so that we shouldn't see too much in the way of widespread fog. Current temperatures are generally in the 60s across the state. La Crosse still at 70. They were close to 90 today before the sun started to go down. You can can see those showers and storms fizzling out tonight. We're underneath high pressure aloft. We have winds out of the from west to east south of us, and then to the north we have winds flowing from east to west, and we're kind of right in between there. So basically these showers and storms pop up in the heat of the afternoon and then die down at night, and now you don't see much in the way of any precipitation around here. Most of it is in the vicinity of the stationary front where the humidity levels are higher. High temperatures today generally in the 80s across the northern part of the Midwest. More cloud cover to the south actually kept temperatures down farther to the south. But then you get into the western high plains and you start to see in the upper 80s and the 90s moving into Montana. And current temperatures are still pretty warm there. We're in the 60s here. And dew point temperatures, while around 60 degrees, certainly higher to the south. And eventually some of that moisture will start working its way back northward over the next couple of days and increase our rain chances from Wednesday night into Thursday. 58 for the overnight low temperature. The showers and storms pretty much over with. High temperature tomorrow at 81 degrees, and we'll look for some afternoon thunderstorms. Future track should be dry for the rest of tonight. Low temperatures in the upper 50s. Watch a few showers and storms pop up tomorrow afternoon with high temperatures in the lower 80s. Those showers and storms die down tomorrow evening. Low temperatures around 60. And then Wednesday, again, more shower and thunderstorm chances later in the afternoon. High temperatures in the lower 80s. But as we take a look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, you'll see those temperatures go up after the rain chances start to go down, and that's the heat building as we head into next weekend. Highs upper 80s on Saturday, mid 80s with some shower and thunderstorm chances Sunday and Monday, but we should still stay in the mid to upper 80s for much of next week. So summer comes back for a while.
Summer's still here.
It is.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Christian Yelich, hoping to have yet another successful game. Got a little streak going. We'll see what the Brewers can do in LA tonight. The highlights coming up next in sports.
News 3.
Well, Christian Yelich earning National League Player of the Week honors for his stellar week on the road. Yelich batting .517 with 8 runs scored, 3 doubles, a triple, and 3 home runs in 7 games. It's the first time in his career that he has won this honor. Well, Yelich and the Brewers in Los Angeles tonight. Dodgers won the series last week at Miller Park. First inning bases loaded for Travis Shaw. RBI single to right there, scoring Yelich 1-0 Brewers. Then the power went out between the first and second innings at Dodger Stadium for about 23 minutes, but came back. So right now it's 1-0 Brewers in the second. Cubs, meanwhile, they beat the Cardinals last night, so now the Brewers are a game and a half behind them in the NL Central standings. The Cubs have the day off today. Well, not exactly the most ideal of days at training camp today. Running back Aaron Jones and defensive end Mike Daniels already out with injuries. Both of them are reportedly minor ones. Linebacker Jake Ryan had to be carted off after hurting his knee during team reps. Same goes for safety Kentrell Bryce. Now, with preseason game number 1 against the Titans next Thursday, head coach Mike McCarthy is going to have to turn to some younger guys for reps.
Just look at the history of our roster and how it formulates at the 53. And the preferred is, that these guys the younger guys don't play right away, but, they're going to play. So they're going to play in some form or fashion. And history tell you they're going to be probably playing in the real important games in November, December.
Finally, ending things on a positive note tonight, LeBron James not abandoning Ohio at all. Today he opened the doors to a school he founded called the I Promise School in his hometown of Akron. It's a school aimed at educating and helping the city's most at-risk kids and their families. Now, by opening this school, LeBron hopes to put these kids in better situations to become educated and succeed.
It doesn't matter, as a kid growing up in the inner city, and me specifically growing up here in Akron, Ohio, being underprivileged and feeling that you could become a statistic. By me being able to put something like this together, I want people to know that these kids should still have the same opportunity as everyone else.
Now, the inaugural class will be comprised of 3rd and 4th graders, and the school will eventually expand to 1st through 8th grade by the year 2022. Now, if those kids follow the program and graduate high school, LeBron has arranged for them to get free college tuition at the University of Akron. He's also giving each kid a bike and providing meals at the school for their families to take home at the end of the school day. We'll be right back.
Gary's back from Alaska and enjoying summertime in Wisconsin now.
Yeah, the temperatures are going to be about as warm as they were up there.
You had record highs up there.
Yeah, in the upper 80s in Fairbanks when I was there. But right now, temperature's a little more comfortable around here, lower to middle 60s. But fog might be a problem in a couple areas. Notice Boscobell's dropped to 3/4 mile visibility. They were one of the areas that had some rain earlier. But otherwise, 7 to 10 day forecast. Temperatures low 80s for the next couple of days. So mainly afternoon shower and thunderstorm chances Tuesday and Wednesday. Wednesday night, Thursday, probably the best chances for rain. And then temperatures go up and rain chances pretty much go down. Just a chance of a shower or thunderstorm Sunday and Monday and a slight chance Tuesday.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you for joining us for News 3 at 10.
Do something good. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert weather app and start planning. Now.